This is a group of exercises that you might find helpful if you're suffering from sciatica pain. As always, make sure you seek advice if your pain is ongoing and take these gently and slowly. The last thing you want to be doing is pushing into too much pain or overstretching. So first of all, you're going to lie on your back and we're going to do the bridge. So you are resting on the floor, feet in line with your hips, and really find your feet on the floor. So you have those 3 points underneath your feet: center of your heel, base of your big toe, base of your little toe. And you're going to stand into your feet, let your pelvis tilt, tailbone's going to lift, knees reaching away from you so that your hips come up into a shoulder bridge. Neck and shoulders are relaxed. As you breathe out, you're going to lower from your breastbone, lay your spine back down onto the mat, let your bottom relax. And we're going to repeat that. Stand into your feet, roll up, reach the knees away. You're going to try and make your bottom and your hamstrings on the back of your thighs do the work, and then soften your spine down. Let your hips and your bottom relax as you come to the bottom of the exercise. With your breathing, see if you can breathe out to come up. Breathe in at the top of the bridge. You're keeping the control through the front of your body, and breathe out as you lower back down. You're getting good movement through your spine here, gentle gliding through the area where your sciatic nerve travels, through your lumbar spine and through the back of your pelvis. And you're also really working the muscles deep in your core, your deep abdominals, your pelvic floor, and your bottom muscles and hamstrings. So we're working on stabilizing around the hips, pelvis, and spine so that we can offload any tension that you might be feeling on the nerve. Breathing out as you stand into your feet, reach the knees away from you. We're getting some nice opening up through the front of your hips and lowering back down again. Let's do 2 more. So you might make these movements quite small to begin with and gradually work your way into it. What we want to be careful of avoiding is overdoing the movement from your spine. So you don't want to be lifting the ribs. You want to keep that connection and make all of the movement come from your hips. So just lay the spine back down, melt your spine back down onto the mat, relax your bottom muscles. We're going to do another exercise to get your bottom muscles working. You're going to come over onto your side, have your underneath knee bent and your top leg straight. And we're going to do lower and lift. So you're going to reach your top leg away from you so that your waist lengthens. So you're almost going to be pulling that hip away from you, reaching the leg away. Make sure your hips are facing forwards, pelvis is in neutral, and then you're going to lift and lower that top leg. And the aim is to make your bottom do this movement. So we want to be keeping the length through your waist here, keeping a little bit of lift through your underneath waist so that we're not flopping down into the mat, and making sure that the effort is all on your bottom muscles here. You can get some movement through your ankle here as well, so you could flex your foot to bring it down, point to go up, and that gives you some mobility through the back of the leg, through the calf, where your sciatic nerve is traveling as well. So again, we're working on the stability and strength around the hip and pelvis, which is going to help to take the pressure off the nerve that might be irritated without overloading it and overstretching it. Let's do 2 more. And then we're going to go on to the other side. So you can just push yourself up, bring yourself around, and we're going to do the same on the other side. So make sure you've come into a good position, hips facing forwards, reach that top leg away, get that length through your waist, pelvis facing forwards, and lift and lower. So you should feel the back of your hip working here as we work into your glutes. What we want to avoid is overloading through the front of your hip. So try not to let the leg creep forwards, and that will keep the pressure off your hip flexors and put it more onto your glutes. So you can imagine that you're sliding your heel up and down a wall behind you. Let's do 2 more. You can definitely feel my bottom muscles working. And relax down. And these exercises shouldn't give you any pain, they should be comfortable. Excellent. So the next exercise we're going to do is lying on our back. We're going to come into Deadbug next. So sounds like a bit of an odd exercise, but it's one that you'll probably recognize and you might have done before. Again, really good for working the stability through your abdominals, through your core, and making sure that you're not putting too much pressure on your lumbar spine or into the nerve. You can tilt your pelvis forwards and backwards and find your neutral spine position where your pelvis is sitting nice and level. You've got the natural curves of your spine, so you're not flattening your back or arching your back. Relax the arms, stand into one foot, press that foot into the floor and allow the other leg to float up into what we call tabletop position. Take that leg back down, stand into that one on the floor and float the other leg up. So we're going to keep going with alternate leg lifts. Keep breathing through this movement. And once you've got yourself going with that movement, just bring your attention into your pelvis. What's happening here? Can you keep the pelvis level? Don't let it rock side to side. Can you make sure you're not squashing your back onto the mat or arching your spine off the mat as you move your leg? And can you keep heavy down into the foot on the floor as well? You should feel like you're having to use your deep abdominal area to help you control what's happening at your pelvis. So then we can take that into femur arcs to make it a little bit harder. So if you bring one leg up, have your hands on your tummy, you should feel like your tummy is fairly quiet and relaxed. You want that to be sort of sinking down heavy towards your spine. Keep it that way as you bring your second leg up into tabletop. From here, can you tap one foot down and bring it back up? You're pressing your thigh away from your pelvis to do that movement. So your pelvis stays still, abdominals stay heavy, and your thigh presses away. Again, you should feel like you've got to use those deep tummy muscles. You've got to stabilize around your spine whilst you move from the hip. So it really relates to our normal functional movement, getting your hips moving. Let's do one more on each side. And then take one leg down at a time and relax your arms. The next exercise is a figure 4 mobility. So you can take one foot up onto your opposite knee and you're going to turn this knee out to the side. We're trying to get a bit of rotation in your hip here. Bring your other thigh in towards you. If you find it difficult to do this position, if it's too much, you can put a towel around your thigh so that you can just pull in a little bit, or you can actually just stay down here and rock side to side. Otherwise, you're going to be up in this stretch. So you're using this thigh to pull the other foot in towards you. And then we're going to gently rock side to side. So we're not doing a static kind of hold. We're doing a bit of a moving stretch, a dynamic stretch, just to give you some mobility around the hips and around the spine, and a bit of a stretch through the back of that hip. So you should feel the muscles in your bottom stretching. And again, it shouldn't be painful. It should feel like a comfortable stretch. And then we can swap sides, put your foot on the opposite knee. And again, if you want to, you can keep your legs down here, and you might find that you want to do that to begin with, and then you gradually come up. So you're trying to keep the knee turned out and gently stretching through your bottom muscles. And relax back down. The last exercise we're going to do is a bit of mobility for the back of your leg. So it is going to get your sciatic nerve moving from your spine, through the back of your hip, down the back of your leg. And again, we want it to be pain-free. We don't want to be aggravating your symptoms. So you're going to hold one thigh. With your toe pointed, gently bring your foot towards the ceiling as far as you can comfortably. And then as you bring it back down, just flex your foot, bring your heel down, toes are lifted. Point your toe and lift. Bend and flex your toe. We're just going to gently move through that range. It should feel really comfortable, but we're just gliding down the back of the leg. So rather than forcing a stretch, we're just encouraging some gentle movement, gentle gliding of those soft tissues, including the nerve, down the back of your leg. Same on the other side. I would tend to do these on both sides. Even if your symptoms, although the symptoms tend to be one-sided, it's nice to work both sides. And you might find that as you mobilise it, each time you try, you might be able to go a little bit further. Last one. And relax back down. Excellent. Well done.